The Railway to Kakia, 9211. By
Arcton Tales.
He was a bad man,
the little girl proclaimed.
selfish and unworthy of your love.
Cara slowly looked up at the little girl with pure disgust on her face.
I, on the other hand, am worthy of your love.
The little girl proclaimed, reaching down, placing her palm on Cara's cheek.
And you, my dear, are worthy of mine.
Cara remained motionless. She had nothing left in her. It was as if love, joy, and the will to fight had all been replaced with terror, sorrow, and emptiness. The little girl began to walk toward the idol before abruptly turning back to Cara.
You shall get a gift worthy of your offer.
She proclaimed, whisking her hand toward Cara. Her shoulder began to itch. Swallowing, mustering up the courage to speak. Softly, she spoke, the words coming out as a whimper. What did you do to Noah? The little girl smiled as her eyes began to turn red.
Don't worry, my dear, I didn't kill him.
She said, grinning once again.
I simply sent him to a place he would understand.
Before Cara could respond, the itching feeling started spreading all over her body and then began to turn to little bites. She started lightly slapping the areas, realizing it was coming from her clothing. The little girl's hands raised in front of the idol from the floor began to shake. The stone structure started to rise and revealed underneath it a large stone chair with two pedestals by its side. Cara's slapping turned to sheer panic as the nipping sensation on her body turned to bright red flames. She began screaming, rolling around in agony as the flames engulfed her, burning the clothes from her body. The little girl began to laugh hysterically as her voice darkened.
You asked me the right question.
She proclaimed, her voice becoming deeper by the second.
Who or what am I? That's simple, you stupid little thing.
The flames burned out, leaving Cara laying there naked on the floor. She sat up, confused, seeing no burn marks on her body. She looked up at the little girl and began to sob uncontrollably.
I am Kali,
The girl proclaimed in a demonic voice.
goddess of death to the Hindu people.
Her body began to morph before Cara's eyes. Her skin turned pale as her body grew in height. She grunted as two new sets of arms began to rip from her spine. Red glowing chains sprung from the ground, latching onto each of Cara's wrists, with one wrapping around her neck. Terrified and helpless, Cara continued to cry hysterically as the creature before her stood completely erect. Resembling a very athletic woman, she now had 6 arms and stood 8 feet tall. The loincloth that barely covered anything before was now ornate with gold trim and red rubies. Replacing her necklaces that covered her chest were now bones and body parts hanging from her neck. Her skin was smooth and flawless, yet gray, and her eyes were solid redstone.
You, my dear, gave me the gift of your clothing.
Kali proclaimed in a deep voice.
You gave me the gift of your youthful body when you gave me your hair, and so I shall accept.
Kali's arms then pointed her bottom arm toward Cara, still bound to the floor and crying uncontrollably. Using her power, she whisked Cara to the pedestal next to her throne. Kali turned to sit on her throne and proclaimed aloud.
And since you gave me your life, I shall shield you from death as you serve me for all eternity. Like a good little girl.
Cara sat there on her knees, bound by the demon chains, crying out hysterically. Kali then sat on her throne. Reaching one arm over to pat Cara on the head like a good dog, she spoke.
For you are a good girl, and I love the ignorance of the West. You gave me your life, and so it shall be mine, as the one who sent you to me shall continue to buy more time. For I am Kali, time, death, doom.